All right, one last video. I did say two videos, but right now I think I'm at video number four. Hi, whoever's watching this. I've been on a roll. But the previous video I talked about gamifying karma, and I really want us. I really want whoever sees this man to think of things differently or just whatever. But here, you see this Urahara quote. Who is Urahara? My people, whoever doesn't know Kiski Urahara, it's a lot to learn. But I am a guy that's been influenced by manga. Thus, I live my life very much in a romanticized fashion. Romance. Life for me is the romance, not a relationship. My relationship with life is the romantic aspect of it. And being able to enjoy the arts of people around me, their creativity, their expression, whether it's in painting, whether it's in writing, whether it's in dance, all these, I think, truly is what life is about. And there's a beautiful quote by Dead Poets Society that says, like, uh, politics, engineering, and شو اسمه, medicine, these are noble professions. But poetry, these are noble professions to live by, right? But poetry and arts, literature, these are professions to live for. But anyways, I'm going to read you this quote and this statement, and from there, I'm going to basically take it a step forward further and try to actually engage with whatever's coming out of me. The reason I want to have this quote being expressed right now is specifically because I'm starting something new, and my mind is trying to build a stronger resolve. The word for this year for me is resolve, because the word for last year was rooting, and the word for this year is resolve. Like my resolve to get things to a certain level, to get things done, because I know after, like, when you're doing something, especially when you're doing something new, after it's done, you're no longer the same person. And that's why completing something is very much important, is very important. But anyways, I think the quote is called disappointment. Here it says, I am so disappointed, so very disappointed. Sadly, your sword exhibits only fear. When you counter, it's because you fear being killed. When you attack, you fear killing. And when you protect somebody, you fear you could let them die. At this point, the only thing your sword speaks is senseless fright. That is not good. What you don't need in battle is fear. Nothing will come of it. When you counter, you don't let them cut you. When you protect someone, you don't let them die. And when you attack, you kill. This is a conversation between Urahara Kiski and Ichigo. In Bleach, it's my favorite anime. Well, my first anime, popped my cherry. The anime that made me become the nerd that I am right now. The conversation is there. He's teaching him. Urahara Kisuke is teaching Ichigo how to fight. And what happens is Ichigo is very much approaching everything tentatively. And if your resolve is not strong, man, if you're like, have you ever tried holding somebody but not really holding, but holding to not let them leave versus holding them because you want them to stay? It's this different intention to the same thing. And Miyamoto Musashi discusses it the same way Bruce Lee discusses it when it comes to the martial arts. It's like when you're punching, you can't just stop. You have to punch and like punch as if your hand is trying to go all the way through. And when you're cutting the sword, you have to imagine if you're using the sword to cut, if you unsheath the sword, you have to imagine the person in front of you like being fully cut. You can't just sheath the sword so that you could actually just You can't. There's no point in threatening when things come to that. And I think that's very important. People don't get it because most of the time, when it comes to our own, and naturally, it's not the martial arts. It's the martial arts that reflect a part of us. It's the martial arts that reflect the big parts where we ourselves are actually the ones intentionally doing something. And I really think it's the extreme of martial arts that bring out the true nature of human beings. Because like a samurai has a sword to kill, so like and suddenly somebody was alive in front of you, either he's dead or yours, right? So from there, like this kind of mentality. But when in the anime in that manga, when they're like talking to each other, he discusses fear because like when you're protecting somebody, he says when you're protecting somebody, you're afraid that you might when you're countering an attack, you're afraid you might get killed. When you're attacking, you're afraid of killing them. And when you're trying to protect somebody, you're afraid you would let them die. Whilst on the other side, you have to be like, when you counter, you don't let them cut you. That's the intention. The intention is you will not cut me versus I don't want to be cut. The other, if you're actually protecting somebody, like I'm trying to protect you, I will not let them die versus I don't want them to die. I'm afraid they might die. And when I'm attacking, I shouldn't be afraid of hurting you. I'm on the attack. When I'm attacking, I should literally just look at things and be like, I'm going to have to cut you down. This thought, this engagement in my head is the difference between a resolve to go through something and get something done and just more of a storyline that you tell yourself most of the time, like, I'm doing something. And it's not about ready, and it's not about preparedness, and it's not about excitement or any of that stuff. It mainly is genuinely about how we ourselves are moving towards the things that are in the forefront of our mind. Because like there are things that are at the forefront of your mind, and there are things that are on the back of your mind. The things that are on the back of your mind will find their way to the front, or will stay there, depending on your intentions and your vibe and your mood and your situation and your environment. You get to decide how you handle that stuff. But the things that are always popping at the front of your mind, man, these things have to be resolved. And you yourself have to resolve them in a way where you build on top of them. And most of the time we realize that we don't really like deal with them in a way that completely just establishes them within ourselves. And I'm reflecting on myself, right? Because for me, like my move, I knew that moving into the new space and having a desk over there and starting to actually interact in a new environment is going to have me move differently. But this quote came to me once, twice, three times over the past 2 weeks. The reason for that is simple, is because I am there for a reason. And am I there to so that that reason doesn't die, or am I there so that that reason succeeds? Am I there so I could finish what I want to do, or am I there so that what I want to do is not forgotten? Am I there because I actually want to get over this side of my life, or am I there just to prove that I can actually do something about it? In all honesty, everything about me wants to wants to see this phase of my life through. And what I keep reflecting on is how back in the day in April, for 2 months and a half, I saw the website through for the first time. And didn't even get to sit it with myself and like reflect on how I enjoyed it. I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to like I was so rushing to jump to the next stage that I was very much disappointed in myself more instead of just enjoying the fact that I finished the website. And right now, I think the reason I'm thinking over and over about this quote and my tentative feelings and hesitations towards the new place or the insecurities, I think because the last thing I want to do is see the website through the way I saw it the last time. I really want to enjoy every day when I'm building it and when I'm working on it. And even though it's that reasoning that made me make this move deserves its own time. And I need to start allowing it to sink in. And so over the next 3 days, 4 days, till like next Monday, I'm more of a scouting, sitting there, seeing how it looks like, how it feels, and all this kind of stuff. Mood. I'm excited to see what goes on, man. I'm I want to enjoy this phase in all its details. And come Monday, it'll be only me, myself, and I. And you guys. You're fucking awesome. Love you. Yalla bye, babies. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't. So excited. It's a lot of work, but I'm so excited. I, I, I'll talk to you soon.